Yo, what's good everybody? My name is Jazara and welcome back to the channel. As the mid-level Sheik on YouTube, my job is to keep you guys updated on all the newest and latest Sheik information out there. In the past, I've gone over the Void matchup chart, current Sheik results, and other stuff related to that. But today, man, I'm going to be going over the second highest ranked Sheik player out there, Rox's matchup chart. He released it last week and it's very interesting. So as you can see right here over on the right side, we got the chart. I'm gonna just go top to bottom and kind of give my opinions on it. This is one of the wildest Sheik matchup charts I've seen. It's something that you would see from somebody who doesn't play Sheik. This is from arguably the best Sheik player in the world out of Mexico, you know. Starting off in the -2 matchups, this is a Sheik thing right here. She does very well against a lot of the sword and DLC characters, specifically Cloud, Roy, Rob, Minmin, Joker on there, all in the +2. While I don't agree that all of those are necessarily +2, I do think that they're all advantageous matchups for Sheik. And then you have the obvious characters like Ganon, K. Rool, and the Belmonts, who are just fundamentally get beat by Sheik. Really big, slow frame data, bad off stage, like Sheik just destroys all of that. Going into the +1s now, we have some really interesting characters in here. So we have guys like Bowser Jr. and Ike, who I personally would put in +2. Same thing, fundamentally really struggle. I don't understand how you think that Cloud is +2 and then Ike is only +1 when Ike objectively has a worse neutral, a worse offstage, a worse punish game, and can't kill you as easy. It doesn't really add up right there, and I think Ike is just not a very strong character in general, so that's strange to see. Your Banjo-Kazooies, your Mewtwo's, your Jigglypuffs, King Dedede's, all could be a little awkward for Sheik. Little Mac as well is a character that I think that Sheik would just destroy Little Mac, but honestly it could be a pretty tough matchup. Insane ground frame data, insane anti-airs, has neutral B is just a combo breaker whenever Sheik can't break it. Over here, man, we have some of the craziest picks right here. So Sonic and +1, I could see it. Rox did 3-0 Sonics in bracket before, so I mean, if there's a Sheik player saying that Sonic should be +1, it should be Rox. Steve and Kazuya though, Kazuya I could see. I feel like at top level, Sheik really bullies Kazuya. Sheik can play right outside of his range. Needles make it hard. The offstage is hard. Sheik can play just really evasive to make it so that Kazuya can't really get hits on her. Steve though, I do not agree. I think that Steve might straight up be her worst matchup. It's very hard. He has all the mix-ups off stage, kills easier, combos more consistently. She has a hard time dealing with the walls. She can have a hard time dealing with the minecart. She just gets blown up by literally characters that can trade in anti-air. She gets blown up by them, and like that's Steve's biggest thing is like, yeah, keep trying to pressure me in disadvantage, I'm just gonna hit you with a bunch of buttons. And then he also has characters like Wolf, ZSS, and Shulk, which depending on who you talk to, they might think that those are even matchups, but I could personally see them all as +1. But yeah, my biggest concerns with this tier right here is like Ike, me, Gunner, Bowser Jr. not being in +2, and then Steve, man, Steve being +1, that's ridiculous. The even matchups get even crazier, dude. So we have Bayonetta and even. I could see that. In my opinion, I think that's a pretty tricky matchup for Sheik. Bats Within gets her out a lot of your confirms, talking Needles bouncing fish, Nair bouncing fish, drag down combos. She can just fall out of them sometimes. If it leans either way, I think it's Bayonetta. But Mr. R double a limb bloom with Sheik at that one EU major before, so obviously the matchup is very doable. Donkey Kong and me Sword Fighter on even. I feel like at the lowest level, DK beats Sheik when both players don't really know what to do. When you get to mid-level where both players are pretty competent, I would say that Sheik definitely has the advantages, but as you get to a higher level where it becomes a lot more about just outplaying the opponent and making smarter decisions, I think DK players can really take advantage of him. I feel like Sheik struggles against characters that have that fear factor, in bracket especially, and we've seen players like Hikaru just totally outplay people with Donkey Kong. But even though, I don't know, I still think it's at least like a +1 for Sheik. Same with Me Sword. I don't think Me Sword is not very good. Me Sword does not have good frame data, good recoveries. None of his movesets really complement the Sheik matchup. He doesn't really get any advantages out of any of them. So yeah, I don't know what he's thinking about Me Sword that makes him so strong. Some of the other characters I want to talk about real quick before we move on to the -1 tier is going to be Byleth and Ridley, which I feel like a lot of Sheik players would probably agree that those are winning matchups for the character. I'm really interested in what Rock is thinking with that. Obviously, with a lot of these characters, I feel like that he has more of these biases this towards they have very strong players of them in Mexico. Like, Mexico doesn't have a top Steve player, so it makes sense that Rox thinks that it's a better matchup for Steve when he hasn't played an Akala or a Onin or even like a Jake before. And then, yeah, rounding it off, we got like Palutena, Game & Watch, and Wario, and even I could see all of those. If you guys made it to this point in the video, be sure to drop a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Let's get back into it. -1 is crazy. So starting off, we have Peach and Daisy. I don't agree really. If anything, it's even, but I could see it being winning for Sheik. Sheik has the frame data to keep up with Peach in neutral, and the mobility to stay around getting hit by a lot of these stronger confirms. So, like, I don't know. I haven't really seen that matchup in practice in a long time. I know that Void has been mute in the past as well. It was a long time ago, probably 2 years ago at this point. I feel like Sheik really has the tools to fight with Peach. And then he's got the pits on losing. I don't know what's up with that. That's crazy to me. Diddy Kong. I felt like a lot of the Diddy players when Ultimate came out were in agreement that Sheik beat Diddy, but as the meta's been progressing, especially with Tweak doing better and better, I'm seeing the narrative switch to Diddy beat Sheik now, which is very interesting. I could definitely see why. Sheik fundamentally struggles with shorter characters. They're harder for her to hit. She doesn't have the mix-ups, basically, because rather than being able to mix in a rising aerial and a falling aerial, you're only able to go for falling aerials, which makes you a lot more obvious on what you're trying to go for. Diddy kills a lot more consistently, but I don't know, it's just like the off stage for Diddy so hard. I feel like it depends a lot on the stage list as well. I feel like on a smaller stage list, I feel like you can really lock down Diddy into some stages that he doesn't want to be playing on, but on a bigger stage list where you have like some more options, like Diddy's more likely gonna have a favorable stage. Okay, so let's bundle a couple of these characters together. Terry, Luigi, Snake, Yoshi, I'll say Ness and Lucas all together. So what do these guys all have in common? They all some mashy ass characters that are going to do more damage to you per hit, and they are just frustrating as hell to play against. So we're talking frame 1 options to get out with Luigi, Snake, and Yoshi. And then we're talking great ledge trapping and edge guarding from all of them. We're talking about some BS comeback mechanic from all of them. For all of them besides Luigi, you can edge guard them, but they're strangely tricky to go off and fight against. Maybe besides Ness as well, but the other 3 can be a little tricky. So like, this is what's not making sense to me about this chart, is that fundamentally a character like Snake, Luigi, Yoshi, Terry, you're putting them in -1 because of what happens in a tournament rather than practice. Because I feel like in practice, Sheik destroys all 5 of those characters. Like, she should have the better tools. But in a tournament, when there's stress and the other people, you know, they're adapting to you, they're trying to win, right? They're really doing anything they can to try to win. They have a lot more consistent stuff to just cheese out games against you, dude. If they're at 150% on one stock and you're at one stock 0%, you would much rather be any of those characters than Sheik. Every single time. And I feel like that's what it comes down to. A lot more consistent in a tournament environment, because these are all characters. If I made a Sheik tournament matchup chart versus a Sheik practice matchup chart, all those guys would be losing matchups 100%. We got some other weird characters on here. So like Plant, it's not like Plant really does amazing in neutral. It's that Sheik has a very hard time dealing with Patui. Like, I don't know. I still don't think it's a losing matchup. I'm just trying to justify it a little bit. But like, the only thing I can really think of is that Patui is like especially difficult to deal with for Sheik, and Plant is heavy. That's the only things I can think of for any Sheik players out there. His recovery is very easy to 2-frame. Down tilt and up tilt both, like his head plops up a lot before he grabs onto the ledge. Yeah, last couple guys, Pac-Man. Definitely think that Pac-Man is in the next tier below. I'm not sure what he's thinking with that one. We got Hero, which I get it. Another one of those in a tournament. Hero, you know, they probably have a better chance of winning against Sheik, which like, and then you have like Incineroar up here. Like, I'm sorry, in a bracket, I'm more scared of Incineroar and Ken and Terry than I am of like, they have Greninja down here in -2. I'm so much more scared of any of those characters than Greninja. Greninja is, my opinion, even matchup. We're going next tier spoilers. Greninja, even matchup. That ain't no -2 matchup, Brox. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know who you're getting farmed by out there in Mexico, but that is not a -2 matchup. And then rounding it off, we got Wii Fit and Toon Link and Rosalina. Rosalina, definitely a hard matchup. Toon Link, don't think so, really. Maybe I just haven't played against any really good Toon Links. And then Wii Fit, like, the character's been getting optimized more, I get it, but like as a character who fundamentally, oh, something bad's happening, let me go back to the ledge, against the character with one of the best ledge trapping, and like the only thing that you really have is like, yeah, the superior combo game, and if you're able to find your hits, then like that's great, but I feel like Sheik is too hard for Wii Fit to hit. And then into the -2 matchups, bro. Oh my gosh, oh my goodness. So we got a couple of valid ones in here, right? You got the ice climbers. Ice climbers are tough. The rats are always tough. Fox, you know, maybe not a lot of people who don't play Sheik know that. Very hard matchup. Fox and Sheik basically want to do the same exact thing, which is run in and hit you. But Fox does like 4 times as much damage, and his combos are a lot more consistent, and he has better raw kill moves. But then these next 4, bro. What?
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
Young Link, get it. I get it. He's tricky to fight against. Same thing as Diddy Kong. Kind of like a short, turtley kind of character. Run around, get his trays, throw its projectiles, but he's a lot more projectile heavy than Diddy Kong is. Isabelle, bro, I'm sorry. I forget what his name is out there though. B Rice, something like that. Bro just better. I'm sorry if B Rice got you thinking that Isabelle is -2 and Villager's -1, bro, I'm sorry. Sheik's too mobile to get locked down by slingshot. You shouldn't be getting hit by like, what do you die, bowling ball, axe? Like, you shouldn't be worried about any of those as Sheik. I don't get it, dude. I don't get how Isabelle beat Sheik. 60-40, bro. The only thing I could, like, if there's something that you think fundamentally beat Sheik about these characters, and then you're like, oh yeah, and Isabelle also has the tether recovery as a mix-up, so the offstage dot isn't as weak. Like, okay, that explains why it goes from -1 to -2, but like, I don't know. I feel like Villager's just way stronger than Isabelle. Isabelle doesn't have a whole lot. I know that down B's hard for Sheik to deal with, but you can down tilt it, but it beats needles. So if Isabelle boom 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 plants that side B, you try to shoot the needles, nothing's going by that thing, bro. Don't break it at all. So, but like, you destroy Isabelle off stage, I don't know. And then, yeah, I don't know, Rocks, you're tripping. And then Greninja in -2, I don't understand that at all. Greninja in advantage, I feel like he very much has to commit to like left right if he's gonna go and try to get you, bro. With Sheik, between B reverse needle and bouncing fish, like you can mix Greninja so hard, and then you try to land and he doesn't really have the strongest options to cover landings. Obviously he has the dash attack and the fair, but like if you're going to plats, then you're solid. When Sheik is up on Greninja, dude cannot get anything going. Like Sheik is just cooking. Like you could just cross up his shield over and over, outmaneuver him. He just doesn't have a whole lot. He has him down here, I'm guessing like no matchup experience. I don't know, dude. I don't speak Spanish, unfortunately. He has Olimar and Robin. Given how his matchup chart is, Olimar probably -2 and Robin's probably an even, bro, with how his matchup chart is. Shoot, like Robin got that big sword though. That shit's strong. I'd put Robin in +1 though. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction to the matchup chart and just my thoughts on it. I thought it was a really interesting chart to go over. Probably won't be going over every top Sheik player's matchup chart, but maybe I will if they're all as interesting as this one is, because this thing was crazy, man. My matchup chart coming soon, okay? Should be doing a live stream for it at some point. Gonna be doing the whole thing live, uploading the VOD and all that stuff. Edit it up. Y'all know how it is. If y'all haven't already, drop a like on this video, subscribe, comment. Check me out on Fresh Cut. I'm trying to hit 500 followers on there. I would really appreciate it. All my other socials as well, obviously down here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. YouTube says that you're really gonna like this video right here, but me personally, I think that you're gonna like this one a little bit more. But I don't know. That's just me. Until next time, guys, have a good one.